So that was your chance to escape, and you didn't take it, so you're stuck now. Okay, معنا دي كانت فرصتك عشان تمشي. We're going to now talk about the changes that we're seeing and what that means في المستقبل القريب. Okay, what's going to happen? It's going to impact us all. We've already started seeing it happening. So, however, we are in the biggest transformation in labor and the concepts of labor since the Industrial Revolution. By that, I mean the switch to remote and hybrid types of jobs. This was considered almost impossible prior to COVID. I mean, we tried it in different companies. We'll do remote, half-hearted, or we tried and failed. Because then when the necessity came, when the need came, suddenly it all works and everybody can work remotely. There are some people who only work remotely. You work remotely. You work in Berlin, don't you? Yes, yes, okay. You're hired in Berlin.
But I'm here.
But you're here, okay. So the possibilities and the tools and the tariqa, it works, okay. And so this means that it has a big impact on how we conceive work. But this isn't the only change that's happening. People have understood that. What we were talking about earlier, the blurred lines between when work stops and when work starts. There's very blurred lines. People have started to understand that in terms of I'm not willing to give this much time to this work. I can give some time, but I want the quality of life that goes alongside this. When we talk about things like work-life balance, it's imbalanced. It's 5-2. Okay, 5 days on, 2 days off, 6 days on, 1 day off. There's no balance for the hetadi. And everyone's understood that globally. In order to have balance, you need to have 3, 4, masalan. Okay, that's much more balanced. There's life and there's work. The blurred lines that we see have forced people to start reconsidering what's the relationship with work. How much do they want to work? How much time do they need outside of work? I'm sure you all experienced the sort of rush of trying to get mashawir done, trying to get something fixed or repaired, trying to get something dealt with at the bank, outside of the hours of work. It's impossible. Your weekends become catch-up. Your weekends become something else, just catching up on life. Where's the space for you? Where's the chance to do other things? It doesn't exist. And for those of you who, as you get more responsibilities outside of the work, you have children, this time gets shorter and shorter and shorter and shorter until it doesn't exist anymore. And you're just running around after yourself. So people have understood that the relationship between work and themselves has changed and has to change. Okay, so the people are starting to work with concepts, and governments are starting to work with concepts that are different. And the first one is, there's 2 parameters. One is a shorter working day, and the other one is a shorter working week. Okay, and both have been experimented with, and scientists have been studying the impact of both of these on things like productivity. Funnily enough, productivity goes up when hours go down. Okay, it seems illogical, right? But productivity goes up when hours go down. Ellie, when we were working at Elves together, when I put the hours down, what happened?
Yeah, we definitely were doing much better. And because the last 2 hours of the day, at least we're always lost somehow. Like, you're too tired to continue the remaining tasks because you're already tired before we get there. So once it was decreased, like, there was extreme
energy and time and everything. So it sounds illogical because we're brainwashed into thinking that the daily hours are 8 or 9 hours. That's the standard. That standard came from manufacturing time, First World War. It's over 100 years ago. Over 100 years ago. Okay, and everything has changed. Everything has changed. Okay, even like what someone could do in work in 1950 in 40 hours. Someone today does that in 5 hours. It's almost 10 times efficiency because of tools and technology and whatever. So why are we expected to still work 40 hours a week? What's the point? Okay, and the other parameter is how many days we work. Okay, so I'm going to work 8 hours, but I need extra time. I'm going to work 4 days a week. And there's been several studies on country level, on company level, that again shows that you end up with a healthier workforce, healthier population as a country, more productive, and more efficient. It works out on company level and works out on a country level. So now there are 8 countries moving to 4-day weeks as a standard. That'll be the standard. 4 days will be the standard. You still get the same pay. Why? Because you're still being as productive, you're still producing. So we're wasting a lot of time in every single day. Manzar shul. Nobody can be at peak performance for 8 hours straight. You might be able to do it for 1 day, 2 days. After that, the performance starts dropping. So at Elves, I was seeing that all of the performance would drop around about the same time of the day. What's going on, guys? It's like everything is like going like this, and then suddenly it's, and then the next shift starts, and there's an up, and then, and it just goes like that. So let's look at the data, let's see what's going on. Instinctively, I knew what was the problem was, because I talked to people as well. And I said, we just burned out by the end of the day. We don't have anything left. Because the work is intense, they're always on. They're answering people consistently on chat and doing research consistently. And simultaneous chats, 5 or 6 different customers at the same time with different problems. So it's intense. You can't have that intensity for very long before you burn out, before your performance goes down. So from a very, very capitalist work system thinking, for productivity, less hours. Not more. You don't get the return. Up to a certain number of hours, you get what you want, and then after that, it's bullshit. It's crap work. Okay, بالعكس, it can be damaging to relationship with customers and so on, and the creativity that you're expected to do. If somebody wants a meeting with me at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and I've been working since 9 o'clock in the morning, I've got nothing left to give. I'm a zombie. And a zombie mode starts at 3 o'clock. We did an exercise zaman in Sarmedi, where we would try to keep notes of when we were feeling energetic and had ideas, and when we would be zero, when we would go into zombie mode. And it differs for different people. Some people are very much later in the day productive and active, and some people are morning people, and all their energy is in the morning and their thoughts and everything, and then they okay, and sometimes they come back up at night, and you get lots of messages at midnight. I'm one of those. I go, okay. So it's not one size fits all either. What do you want to? You want to understand what, from a purely capitalist production side of things. It should be individualized somehow. Everyone has a different strength and weakness. And we need to understand that. And definitely, less is more. Less hours is more work. And I know you can sort of say, well, it doesn't make any sense. Try it. Do the study before and do a study afterwards. And that's how people do it. They do a study and then they do another study when they've given people more time off, and see what happens. See what happens over a long time. The number of days that people are calling in sick be ill dramatically. Because sometimes people just have to say, look, I'm sick. Even though what they need to do is go to the bank or to pay something or fix something or their car or whatever. There's things in their life that need to do. They say, if they don't have an honest culture, if they're not set up for, it's okay, I understand, عندك ظروف غير الشغل, it's okay. If they don't have that doesn't exist in every company, they say, أنا تعبان النهارده ما أقدرش أجي الشغل. عندي كوفيد تاني. جالي كوفيد امبارح بالليل والله. So you don't need that. If you have time, extra time to do those things, not only are you better off, more productive in work, you're also a better person. You're more relaxed. It gives you not just physical health, but mental health. Mental health is health. People being anxious and worried and stressed all the time, creates mental health problems. Not just burnout. Burnout is just one sort of manifestation of this, but there are plenty of others. Short-temperedness, irritability, fighting with their spouses or their kids. All of these things come from the tension and the stress of long days at the same pace. ما فيش relax البنزين شوية. العربية هتمشي. Okay. So we're in that transition. Everybody's seeing that everything's changing, and how they view work is changing. And this will have an impact across every single sector, and people will not tolerate being treated like servants for 5 days a week and having no time for the rest of their life. What's the point? That's what people are starting to ask themselves. Now they've had 100 years to ask that. They didn't ask that properly. But now they've seen it, and they've seen the possibilities of being able to work half a day, full day here, remotely here, take a day off there. You know, the technology exists to assist us with this as well. The other thing is that what's changed quite a lot is a lot of work, we're competing globally. It's not I'm competing just on this stage, and everyone who's got developers in their team knows that those developers could be working for companies in Holland, companies in the States, companies in Germany, from here or from there. And there's a shortage in certain wazaif on a global level, and we can't compete. One way we could compete, for example, is to say, with me, you only have to work this number of hours a week. 30 hours, not 40 hours, or 32 hours. This gives you a competitive edge. Okay, because when everybody moves to this, it won't be a competitive edge anymore. But now, if you start saying to people, it's a 4-day week, that's what I have to offer. I'm offering the same money as that guy, but I'm giving you the extra day off. Taban, you're going to be the most attractive proposition in the room. All right? How can you lead the change? There are lots of changes. It's up to you to really study and understand what's happening, and not to just follow, to understand and lead in this space. And the changes are happening anyway. There's going to be massive changes in the impact of a climate crisis. Even if you don't believe it, it's coming, and we're already in it. It's almost irreversible right now. So this will mean things like summers will be hotter, much hotter, like Kuwait hot, like 50 degrees hot. So a lot of things we take for granted won't actually work. All right, and this idea of taking 3 months in the summer, a holiday from schools, won't work in the summers like that. Things will change. There'll be wetter winters. Suddenly Seoul, or storms. Remember the storm 2 years ago, just before COVID, the dragon storm? That's going to become more normal. The Mediterranean is quite a volatile area for weather changes, and the climate will affect us quite a lot. We'll have a lot of the land will be, that's now farmland, will be too salty because of rising sea levels. The sea level will come up under the soil and put a lot of people who in the delta who rely on this for their livelihood out. They'll have to leave and go somewhere else. This won't exist. So there's a lot of pressures. You need to understand how this works and when they're coming, and start thinking about how would you react to that. What's the opportunity here for you and your people? بالذات الحاجات اللي لها علاقة بالtime and days of the week and so on. Okay. Here, I've just got some examples of people who have already done this. Spain already launched. This was a year ago. They already launched an official 4-day week. Okay, in Spain, lucky Spain. This is from an environmental impact perspective, that the UK says that their carbon footprint, their impact on the negative impact, if they move to a 4-day week for people, because of all the commuting. When especially commuting, when you go to work, you tend to do some weird things, like you buy plastic bottled water, okay, and you have ready-made lunches. All of this is extra impact. When you're at home, you don't do that. You drink water from the filter or the talaga, or from an hanafaya, and you cook food. All right, so that's a very different impact. So if you think on the scale of millions of people going backwards and forwards to work, just one day will have a big impact, positive impact. So they're thinking about it from that perspective. Here, I can't read the small print. I don't think you can read it either. But this was talking about the work day. Psychologically, humans need work, right? They want it, all right? So this group of scientists said, okay, we need it, but how much do we need to feel fulfilled, psychologically, to get that kick that I need? And it ended up being 11.5 hours a week. Not a day, 11.5 hours in a week. That's you, yeah? That gives you that feeling that I'm doing something. I didn't do the study, okay? I feel the same way, that 11.5 hours would be about right for me too, but it's not the case. That was from a sociological, psychological perspective. Yes, we need the people find value in work, but how much work would be the optimal? So the scientist is saying it's a bit like vitamin C. You can take so much, but after that it's pointless. 1,000 milligrams, and if you take 10,000 milligrams, it's not 10 times better for you. نفس الحاجة مع الشغل from a psychological, personal, sociological perspective. This guy, CEO of a tech company, he took the plunge and decided to give everybody a 4-day week. He says it's for selfish reasons. Okay, it's for me. It's for me. He says employees were more productive, more engaged, and more efficient. That's the owner of the company. It's not some sociologist or psychologist. شغلته أحسن. Okay. Then we got this one. There's a bank in the UK called Atom Bank. It became the largest employer to offer a 4-day week. Okay, bank. What happened? They got 500% increase in job applications. 5 أضعاف increase in job applications. Why? Because the proposition is so attractive to work 4 days instead of 5. Everybody wants to go to this bank. All right, so you understand the الحتة دي, and you'll end up creating an advantage for yourself in the labor market, in the job market. And you'll still get what you want. You'll still get the productivity you want. And actually, because of the blurry line stuff, and we don't have, like France, in France, you cannot send someone a message about work after 5 p.m. You go to jail or you get fined. You cannot as an employer. We get legislation, law, قانون. وفي بلاد كده. They understand that this is your time, it belongs to you. Why is your employer asking for more? It's not contracted. You're not getting paid for it, but we do it. Okay? So we do it all the time. I say, by the way, I have ex-team members and current team members here. So if I bullshit about anything, just raise your hand and say that he's lying. Okay? Whereas when I message my team, sometimes I message them at night, say, please think about this in the morning. I'm just parking it here. I'm not expecting an answer now. Look at it in the morning. We'll talk about it just so I don't forget. Okay? Because I don't want to put the pressure on them to, كان بيكلمني تاني مش عارف ايه ليه. So the competitive advantage that you can have عن أي حد تاني is to change the working hours. And think about it. Would it work for your business? And try it. Test it. Don't we all try and fail and try again and get up? And isn't that the ethos of entrepreneurship? We'll fail fast and try it. You'll be so surprised. I've done it twice. I've done the 4-day week twice. Okay, once was a force majeure, and the head of the company, let's say the president, big guy, comes and says, we've got a problem, and you're going to have to fire 25% of the people in your team. Okay, I had a team of 130 at the time. That means there's, more than 25 people gone by the end of the week. Okay. Obviously, I don't want to do this for several reasons. One is, how long does it take these people to be where they are and as good as they are with the knowledge that they have? It took years and years of experience and knowledge. And if I ever try to replace this, it's going to cost me an enormous amount of money. Okay, it's better for me to retain this person and to keep them on board. I don't want to fire anyone. But he was of the kind of mentality that you have to fire 10% of your... was it 10%? Yeah, you should be firing 10% every year anyway. Have you heard this before? You should fire the weakest 10% of your workforce every year. Like, what if I don't have any weak people? What am I going to do? And it doesn't understand the concept and how much does it cost to hire someone and to train someone, and the knowledge that they leave with is knowledge you can't get back. All right. So, for example, when I was in Elves, I did the exercise, say, how much does it cost us to hire, train, entry-level Elves agent? And they ended up being something like £26,000. 16,000 جنيه. يعني من الإعلانات were 5 interview processes, 5, including the CEO, and 5 separate interviews, tests. It was a process, very long process, and then a month training, 2 weeks intensive, and then 2 weeks shadowing, and then before they did their first solo elving gig. All right, that whole process costs 16,000 جنيه. So every time someone leaves, it's ching ching, and we're going to have to spend another 16,000 جنيه. I brought all the team in, all the kind of management of the company team, my team, and we were about 20 20 people, and a lot of them had been there, some of them had been there for 17 years and put their life into this place. I said, here's the problem, we need a solution, okay? And we'll work out this solution, Marbad. So I already had an idea what I wanted to do, but I wanted to involve everyone in the decision, and this is their lives at risk here, their livelihoods. So I ended up coming up with a plan how to save 25% of our costs without firing 25% of the workforce. And it meant that everyone had to take a little bit of a hit in their salaries. So the people who were there, the most senior took the biggest hit, and then the most junior took no hit, and then everyone in between took 5, 15, 20, 25%, up to 50%. And then presented this to the CEO of that company, and he was very angry. Like Lee, and Shekli Wesh, and I just fired 300 people. His side of the business had 1,200. Spent a week firing them. You know, don't come in tomorrow. Someone turns up at your desk, sign here, bye bye, shukran, ma salama. So هو كان شكله وحش فعلا. It's not my fault. You know, these are my people, and I need them. And then when this crisis is over, I'm going to need these people. Why would I let them go and then try to convince them to come back? I would have broken their trust. There'd be no loyalty to this company. And he said, I think you're wrong. I think what will happen is, as soon as you say no jobs are going to be, as soon as you say we're going to do this, a lot of people will search for other jobs when you put your plan into implementation. Actually, not a single one did. Not a single person left out of all 130, even though there were still going to be rocky times. Okay? So the 4-day work, did the productivity change? Yes, it got better. Imagine that my solution was, I'm going to take some of your salary, but also I'm going to give you an extra day off. So I'm مش حرامي, you know, مش نصاب. You're going to work 1 day less. What happened was productivity did not go down. Just doing exactly the same number of translations, same amount of copy, everything, same speed of development of applications. كل حاجة زي ما هي أو أحسن. And everyone's working 1 day less. So that was for me. It's like, oh wow, fantastic. Why do we work 5 days أصلا? هنرجع مش هنرجع كده. And then the other time I did it, that was a force majeure. The other time I did it was cutting the time of the day with the elves, and that paid off very well. And again, we had the kind of thing: happy elves made happy customers. They're front line. If they're unhappy and they're depressed and they're front line, their customer is definitely not going to be happy. There's a connection. Anyhow, what's next? The next is sort of things that I've come across. There's a lot of them, maybe 10, 12 of things that I've come across that I didn't have time to do full thought on them. I'm just going to put them out there and see if they've got a couple of words to say about them, about what we need to keep in mind as we build teams, okay, as we create those micro-societies.
I'm sorry, I have a detailed question. Before we jump into this part, it's resonating with the story you just said.
Tamam.
What you did for the people without cutting them off or finding that. So this is very relevant to me because as part of my job, we actually do that at our company where we find a problem, we actually get people on board as part of the solution, all of that, especially at the top management level. There's this fine line between, getting the people to voice out their opinions and contribute to the decision, the final decision, and feel empowered and, engaged in the solution, and managing the expectations of each individual where they feel like, I voiced out this way is the right thing from my point of view, and then it ended up something else. So I just want your thoughts about this fine line and how to balance between the two sides.
It's very tricky because you need one solution, all right, and there are 10 on the table, okay? So it takes a little bit of further discussion and going around and saying, let's look at this solution first. Ma baat teni. This is the most consensus aladi. Consensus is important as well. So if you have 10 people on the table and 7 of them are liking this solution, then usually they understand that more people like this approach than my idea. At the end of the day, it's logic will prevail. Okay, there's some kind of thing that says logic will prevail, or it's better for the business. Okay, people can understand that when you spell it out and communicate it directly and clearly. You know, this solution would lead to there here, potentially, and this solution leads to a better place. And it's better for the business or better for us. In the long term, in the short term, in the medium term, ممكن نغيرها بعد كده، ممكن نجربها. يعني في كذا طريقة. يعني نجرب ونشوف. There's what طريقة. دي طريقة. If we find out we're wrong, we'll take your idea. Or ممكن نمشي 2 ideas for parallel. And some solutions you can do in parallel. We'll try this and we'll try this في نفس الوقت ونشوف النتيجة. So it's about clearly communicating, measuring, forecasting. There's lots of things you can do to allow the person to have the voice, but not necessarily that's the right voice. That's not necessarily the right decision. It's not cruel or unkind or anything. It's like, no, that's not the right decision for now. It's not the right decision for مشكلة. So yes, it takes a little bit of massage as well, Damon. But I think when you start saying better for the business or better for us in the long term, short term, medium term, whatever the parameters are, people get to see, people start to understand, and they come over. If they're a stubborn person, they're just a stubborn person. You know, you can't do anything about them. And معلش اسكت. حلو قوي اسكت. فكرة حلوة. شكرا. Is that okay? Does that help you? Yeah. Okay. There's no clear answer. That's first of all. And you're going to try things and so try different things. So first one is creating a sharing mindset. What does a sharing mindset mean? It means that us in this micro society, we share things around. Okay, ومش بخبي حاجات او دي حاجات بتاعتي او انا تعبت في الاكسل شيت ده انا مش هديهولك عشان انت هتفضي سيلز وانت عندك الفورمولاز وانا تعبت فيه. لا ده طبعا كلنا we lose in this. Developers, when they come to a problem and they go to they go and find another solution that someone else wrote the software for, and they plug it in and say, thank you very much. I've succeeded, right? Yes, shukran. We need to find, we're moving at a pace, and we need to help each other. We need to share our findings. We need to share our work. I've done a presentation of 50 slides with graphics and logos and harakat, which I the next person who does a presentation should have access to this. And why? What am I doing? Is it my work or is it our work? It's our work for the akhir. Okay, so create a sharing mindset is important, and it has value later on. Setting expectations, always. Setting expectations is fundamental for any kind of relationship. Even if it's عايز ابني يعمل حاجة لازم أقول له بالتفاصيل أعملها إزاي وإمتى what am I expecting as a result. If I don't do that, بس أقول يعني هيجري 5 كيلو ولا يجري 20 كيلو في ساعة ولا في دقيقتين، هو مش هيفهم وأنا I'm going to be disappointed with the result. صح؟ يعني أنت تعبت نفسك ليه؟ أنا كنت عايزك تجري 20 كيلو وأنت عملت سبرنت 100 متر. So we have to be clear and set expectations in everything in life, but specifically with our people. We said this already. Thinking is work too. So give space for people to think and places for them to think. Encourage asking for help. A lot of times people feel that if I ask for help, I'm showing weakness. But actually asking for help is a strength. It means that you've understood that your limitations, you want to learn some other way of doing it, but you're stuck. So what a lot of people do is they stick and they freeze. And they get to the heta and they stop in front of the heta and they panic. And then the deadline passes and they panic more and they don't know what to do and they're stuck there. And yet somebody else has the solution. Somebody else has the answer. Whether it's their direct boss or whether it's someone else in the company else, they need to go and ask for help. And you should create a culture that it's okay. None of us was born being able to feed ourselves with a spoon. Okay, we had to learn how to pick up a spoon and find the mouth. Right, it took a long time. So none of us is born with a full set of skills and knowing everything. خالص. يعني أنا بتعلم النهارده كتير من الناس اللي حواليا. طبعا عشان أنا عجوز ومش فاهم في حاجات كتير جديدة. Anyway, encourage asking for help. Tasks and deadlines should be a negotiation. All right, you ask for something, someone should be able to say, "Imta, how? And where the resource is? You're asking me for this. Why did you set the deadline? What is that deadline? I can't reach that deadline." And you need to be understanding to say, instead of saying, "I worked weekends," So let's think about why am I asking for that deadline? What other resources can I give you to help you meet that deadline? So there should be a point where you stop when someone's saying, or when you yourself are giving the setting tasks, you need to leave space for someone to ask you, how am I going to do that with the current resources or the current time, or what can I give up from the current things I'm doing in order to a deadline there? Okay, it's a negotiation, and it's fine, and it's healthy, and it should be done. It should be standard. Say ماشي, but what we say is حاضر, and we go and cry in the cupboard or under the stairs or at home. Say no, don't وحشين. Create common spaces. This is really important. People forget about this, but as humans, we are social, and this is where ideas flow, and this is where we get to know each other, and this is where we find out about things in the spaces that are available to everyone. So أنا مكتب finance وأقعد كده فعلا طول النهار في الدولاب. Okay. طيب ايه المشكلة إن هو يقعد على الكنبة في مكان تاني مع ناس تانية يفهم الدنيا. It's very important for a flow of ideas and for the human side of us. Coordination, and you find out. I mean, people are also, humans are quite gossipy, right? You find they gossip. They find out things. Oh, I did not know that. Oh, okay. فلان عايز يمشي. طيب والله ليه؟ طيب أنا لازم ألحق. لو فلان عايز يمشي، فلان مش مبسوط هنا. طيب هعمل حاجة. Anyway, I don't encourage gossiping, but I do encourage flow of ideas and spaces to do that. Provide the spaces for people to do that. A company is not a family. Okay, we said that before. Don't need to do that one again. My screen's gone blank, so I'll do it from here. Okay, there's more. Create a respect culture. Yeah, I'm different to you, but I respect your difference. I'm different to you. You want to have tattoos? Have tattoos. You want to come in with the earrings? I don't care. Okay, respect other people's space and what they do. Okay, and create the culture of respect. It's very important, and it's already hard for people to try to be individuals in a workplace. You're kind of requested to leave your individuality outside the door. Come in and be a موظف, employee. No, we're individuals, so let's allow ourselves to be individuals. That's where we're most comfortable, being individuals. That's ourselves. We bring all of us, to the space. Don't be cheap with your people. And this whole thing about negotiating for 100 جنيه أقل for salaries takes a week. And I mean, I've had people from the recruiting side of business say to me, Homa, they're expecting 8, but I can probably get them for 7.5. شطرتي. يعني why? Why, you cheap asshole? Why are you being cheap? تفرق معاك ايه 500 جنيه دول؟ مش فلوسك. Okay. الكرسي ده احسن بس انا هجيب ده ب 100 جنيه ارخص. الكرسي ده هيبوظ في 6 اشهر، ده هيعيش معانا سنتين. Why? What do you win? استفدت ايه؟ عشان انت شاطر، انت اشطر حد هنا. يعني فكر. يعني don't be cheap with people. Don't cut things. Don't say, oh, you're all drinking too much Nescafe. We're gonna cut Nescafe. بيحصل. I've been in those places. بيحصل. Yeah. You're using too much of this. You're down to 1 drink a day. وsign حتة ومش عارف ايه ونحط كاميرات بوظت الميكروويف مش don't be extreme. That there are always you can change people's behavior a little bit at a time. You don't have to say all or nothing. Like ممكن تقلل شوية. And it cost us a lot of money this month. Or let them know how much it costs. We spent £8,000 on شاي ونسكافيه شهر ده بس 8,000 جنيه. ده مرتب 10 بني آدمين. Don't be cheap. I had a guy وقت الثورة كنت قاعد على لجان شعبي كده. مش لجان شعبي قوي. It was in a compound. كومباوند باربيكيو وكده ظبطنا نفسنا وكل السلاح في العالم موجوده ماشي. But the guy was complaining, and هو عنده مصنع, the people are coming in, they're too tired to work, and they're lazy, and مش عارف إيه. I was listening to this. So I said, how much do you pay these people? وقتها is like 900 pounds. 900 جنيه. قلت له إيه 900 جنيه؟ ده لإيه؟ لأسبوع ولا إيه؟ لا شهري. 900 جنيه. I said, okay, and we were a big group of people, and a lot of them were factory owners. Okay, so I was one voice against a few. I said, let's do the calculations, okay? بكم شقة فول أو سندويتش فول كم؟ نص جنيه ما أعرفش يعني إيه okay. هو المفروض يأكل كم واحد؟ يعني if he only eats food 3 times a day at three half sandwiches يعني هيكلف 9 جنيه في اليوم. صح ولا لا؟ أو كان 30 جنيه أو whatever. just هو ومراته هي هتاكل مش هتاكل؟ واولاده هتيجي الشغل ازاي؟ مواصلات. طيب بتيجي ازاي؟ يعني 1 ولا 2 بيجي من بعيد. طيب يعني not paying him enough to live. So what is he doing? بعد يخلص معاك بيروح شغلانه ثانيه. He has to work in a second job to survive because this guy's being cheap with him. All right? And then in order to do that, that means he's going to come into work tired. Because he's doing 2 jobs. He's not going to do this one efficiently ولا this one efficiently. He's going to be يعني مضروب في الاثنين. So all of this comes from this guy trying to be smart with paying cheap wages and not providing transportation and not مش عارف إيه. And don't be cheap with people. You get the results that you deserve if you're cheap with people. We have a saying, if you pay peanuts, you get monkeys. All right? If you pay peanuts, like very little, you end up with monkeys. And it's true. If you need to pay people their value. And don't be cheap. Don't try to cut corners. It's not cool. It's not cool. First contact sets the tone. So have you ever gone to an interview and waited for an hour for reception? You came on time and you waited for an hour in the reception. That's first contact. If you do that to people, that's their first impression of you. It's like, and then we go, well, we'll call you after 24 hours and let you know whether you've been accepted or not. 24 hours becomes 72 hours, becomes 120 hours, never actually happens. And why are you being like that? And it doesn't cost you anything to make good on, let someone know they're no longer a candidate for the job. This is first contact stuff. All right? And everybody does, and we've all experienced it, and everyone does it. Tell them truthfully what the job entails. Here's the job description, sort of, cleaned up. Here's the reality. When I say need to work under pressure, you have to be under pressure 24/7. That's the reality. And let's be honest with people as well and say the job description looks like a wonderful job, but the reality of that job is horrible. Okay, it's horrible. It's not what I was expecting. And the things في الجوب description موجودة وصح بس مش كل حاجة مش هي دي. Something حاجة تانية خالص. I spend most of my time chasing HR for papers. I spend an hour a day going to finance and HR and trying to get things done. That's not in my job description. That's just a shitty culture in the company, inefficiencies.
So that's all about advertising. Advertising أصلاً هو فكرته كده إن هو بيدي حقيقة مختلفة عن.
But it's dishonest, and so is advertising. It's dishonest. Okay. I mean, you see the big Burger King picture. 15 minutes. Thank you. See the big Burger King picture, and then you go and order the Burger King. There's quite an expectation, lots of my kids get very upset with this. They say, look at this, this burger, and this looks amazing. Let's go in there. And then, ruba. I don't have many more. Understand the cost of things. When you do something, it has a cost. Right? Every action has a consequence. Try to understand that being too clever with people backfires. To understand the value of things as well. What's there? What just came up new?
Communicate the why.
Communicate the why. Why are we doing this? Why the hell are we doing this? Does it make any difference to anyone that we do this? Like you might be very excited about irrigation pipes, and you might think that irrigation pipes is a great service to society, but I don't. I need to understand why I'm doing this. I want to work in something that I understand what my contribution to this is in the bigger picture. Come in. And help people understand the why. Remove bad apples quickly. You know, sometimes you get it wrong in the hiring and you find someone, or you inherit a team, and there's someone in there who is just a horrible person. Mean with them, and they can't be changed. They're mean with their colleagues, they're, naked طول الوقت. Negative energy طول الوقت there. And they're gossipy, and they say things about people, and they go behind people's back. And we've all seen this kind of person, right? You can't... كلام على الشغل دلوقتي. الحمد لله. That's the next episode, okay? Not this one. Remove bad apples quickly. Get rid of the person. You know, pay them out. You know, it's worth it. Otherwise, what happens is those people stay, other people leave because they can't tolerate being with this person anymore. And how are they still here? How is this person still here? It's the environment. People come and ask, why is this person still here? What value do they have? And they're right. You just need to make a decision. Okay.
Outlive everyone else.
They outlive everyone else. The good ones leave. Okay. You will get things wrong. Yes. For sure. And then try to get them right next time. You will get things wrong and try to get it right next time. And be a leader, not a boss. Try to think that this is leadership. I'm leading this thing, okay? It's not that you have to do it because I say so. That's not leadership. You have to do it because I say so, because I'm the boss, because I had 3 stripes or 4 stars or whatever. أنا أكبر منك. لا. You have to make it make sense to me. You know, we're in this together. So I like to think often of if we're on a mission to Mars. Okay, we've been chosen as the Mars mission, or I've been chosen to lead the Mars mission. Who will I need with me? You know, I need the best engineer. Oh, I need the best engineer. Probably need a medical person. I need a doctor. I need the best doctor. I need those people on board with me. All right, and I need to lead them. I need to if I have someone who's the نصكم engineer, we're all going to die. Diet will explode on the thing. You know? So back to don't be cheap. There was something that one of the astronauts, the shuttle astronauts, said that stuck in my mind about being cheap. He said, all the way on the mission, I was thinking that every part of this ship was built by the lowest bidder, or has come from the lowest bidder. The system is you have 3 bids, you know, and you take the lowest. So this guy's in a spaceship going to... This thought pops into his head. It's like this is being built by the lowest bidder. You know, so that's pretty much me done. Unless you have lots of questions about anything, I'm pretty much done with this thing. Done. Yeah.